I'm going to give you a quick little primer on how to start a study group with Mozilla Science. So here's my test account. I don't have a lot of activity except one contribution, but I'm going to search for study group. Oop, spell it right. And it looks like this will be here. That's great. So one thing to note is that the README has a lot of information that you should check out about joining our Gitter chat and being part of the orientation project, which includes some online meetings and then also just the orientation guide. Possibly the first thing you can do is to watch this repo, which is something you do up here. You can change your status to watch the repo in case you want to be updated of changes we make to the base repo, things you might want to integrate into your fork. So let's fork the repo to our account. Now it's forking it. It's going to take a minute. And now it's created my own copy of this. So a few checks to make sure that things are going to be working smoothly. Study groups by default do not enable issues, so you want to go to settings up here and enable issues because you'll need that for later. And you want to check to see that your GitHub Pages setup is pointing to your GH Pages branch. GitHub Pages is a way that GitHub has set up its infrastructure so that it can host sites for you on a branch called GH Pages. So as long as you have an index.html file or some website code in the GH Pages branch, it will build a site that is affiliated with the name of your repository and your username. So we're going to navigate to it in a bit because it's still trying to build your page. It might take a little while because after you fork, it has to kind of figure out Jekyll and all those things. So meanwhile, we're going to make some quick changes. So we've enabled issues, which is great. If you read through the study group orientation, you'll learn a little bit more about how issues are important for your events or posts. But first, let's edit some administrative things. So in your config.yaml file, there's a lot of information that you might want to change on your website. So this includes some of the header text in the website. It also includes the image that you use as your background header image, and it includes some colors. There's some warnings here about not editing the colors, but you can totally edit the colors. It's okay. So if you wanted to edit this file, you could go in here. You could change it to a bioinformatics study group and leave that the way it is. And you can commit it according to these instructions and everything will be ready to go. You don't need to make any other changes, although you could make other changes. For example, if you wanted to change the main headline in the header of the study groups repo. So if we open Mozilla Science study groups, and we want to go to study groups. Oh, sorry, Mozilla Foundation, not Mozilla Science. So here you'll notice the website demo will load here. It looks like this. So this text is the stuff we can be changing in our config.yaml file. And if we go back to where we were changing it, I think it was up here, yes. You might want to change this to, I don't know, welcome to our site. And you can also set up Google Calendar. So if you have a calendar with events on it that you schedule regularly and that you want people to have access to, you can include the link. The embed URL is available in the settings for Google Calendar. I'm not going to go through that process because I want to keep this video pretty short, but you can paste in those links here. And then let's see, I want to do another color, not this primary, secondary color, which would be the yellow. So let's look at color hexa and see if we can find a cool color that we like. Actually, why don't we go with this red, and we can find complementary colors for that red. Whoa, those are a bit bright, huh? Well, we'll do this red and this orange, and we'll see. So I'm going to go back to I'm going to edit the primary color to be this. You want to take off the hex hash, and the secondary color, I want to make this. So secondary dark can probably just be the gray. And then we commit, and that saves our changes. Another thing you're going to want to do probably in your study groups repo is change the members that are associated with your repo, and that's available in the data folder. So you probably want to go in here and you want to edit Bill Mills. I'll change it to Moser, Mozilla Science. Test. And I'm also interested in these same things, so I'm just going to update this. You can add duplicate members if you want. Oops, I copied too much. Like this. You would just add another one. So instead of making 2 Oris, another friend. Ori Moser, that's my other GitHub. And yeah, so update members. Next, you'll probably want to edit your issues and your posts. So you'll notice that there's some documentation that describes how you create events on the website, which look like this. They're in this lower section and they appear as links. You can post as many events as you want. Usually there's kind of an informal process of creating an issue where you define what kind of event you're going to have. And then after you create your issue, you create a post that follows the same syntax. And in fact, you can copy this header if you want. Oop, why does it do that? Okay, well, we'll just do that. And you'll want to have the same. Actually, let's open this in a new window so that we can copy this as an example. So we want to create a new file, and we want to have all the same text that we had in the other one. First event, and our location, online. And the link, we'll probably want to use an issue link. So the date is what, November 16th. So let's make it November 18th. And 2016. We're going to use this in our title. So we're going to want to, oop, where did my issue go? Yeah. Use the same syntax. So basically the date plus my event.markdown. Something like this. And that all looks great. We're going to want to make a link for an issue because an issue will allow you to create a conversation around the topic of choice. So say you want to include some notes, cool things, another cool thing, discuss. So you can create labels for your issues. In the settings, you can adjust these names so that they can be other things than just the defaults that are available here. You can create milestones, you can assign people, but basically this is just a placeholder for the kind of conversation that other people could contribute to through the comments. So we're going to use this URL though in our post because we want it to reference a particular conversation. And I'm going to say create first event. And there you have it. You'll update your website and it will have all of the updates, including your new members and your first event. So that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening.